Welcome to Bing's Tavern. Cheers. Before we get started, if you like the content or like this video, please leave us a like. And then if you want to join our crew, smash that subscribe button. You can join our crew as we dive deeper and deeper into One Piece content. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Today's video is going to be all about chapter 1112. And it's going to be a prediction video based on all the content that we got from 1111. And I'm maybe going to go into a little bit of 1110. And then we'll kind of see where we get to. I have chapter 1111 pulled up, and mainly I wanted to talk about where everyone is at this moment, and then I can kind of build off that and show you guys what I think will be the setup for this next chapter. So what I think is going to happen, and where everyone is first, where everyone is we got Nami and Usopp's group in the interior dome. On that island up there is Zoro and Jinbei, who just fought Lucci. Zoro beat Lucci, Jinbei punched him away, and then we had Marcus Mars land, and then Lucci gave him the full rundown on what's going on. It's like 6 minutes left. We got these people in these places, this is the Straw Hats' plans, etc. He just went off on just info dumping to Marcus Mars. And then you see Marcus take off, because it's down below. We have everyone else. It's going to be Luffy's group with the Giants. He's there. They are taking off away from the three elders, which is Saturn, Jupiter, and Warpery. Ahead of them is going to be Sanji and Vegapunk. Sanji's carrying Vegapunk away, and he is trailing Bonnie and Frankie's group with the Giants as they are getting closer to the ship where they have the... Ahead of them is going to be Sanji and Vegapunk. Sanji's carrying Vegapunk away, and he is trailing Bonnie and Frankie's group with the Giants as they are getting closer to the ship where they have the Vice Admirals. Now, the one Gorosei member that we didn't see this last chapter is going to be Venus Juro, and he was running around the island taking care of all the pacifistas, and now I think he is circling the island the opposing direction of what the Straw Hats are doing, and I think that's going to lead into a future part of this chapter. Now, I'm going to go ahead and break down what I think is going to happen. I'm going to go what I think is going to happen. I'm going to write the chapter myself, just thoughts with no dialogue, just where I think people are going to be and what's going to happen. I think the chapter is going to open up kind of like this one did, where it's going to be Zoro versus Lucci, but instead it's going to be Jinbei and Zoro, and how, because last we saw them, they were trying to fly, he says faster run, and they just bolted. They're running. I think it's going to be an update of them getting to Nami and Usopp's group. Now, the opposing force up there is going to be Marcus Mars, but I think he's preoccupied. I think he's the one that's been tasked with the mission of shutting this transmission down, and the other four are like, we'll take care of everything else. Don't worry about it. So, since they're in the dome, they got to make it down. I think he's going to ignore them. He's already gone in and asked where the transmission's coming from or what room it's in. I think this chapter he'll get there, and then that's not going to be the answer. And that'll be a good moment for them to say something to the effect of, Mars saying, this isn't it. We've got 4 minutes, like just a time dump on us to say this much time's elapsed. We'll see Usopp, Nami's group reunited with Jinbei and Zoro, and they'll be finding their way down. I think the next thing we'll probably see is going to be Bonnie's group going toe-to-toe with the Vice Admirals. I have a little respect for the Vice Admirals. I don't think they've done enough showing for me to acknowledge them as being a good way to stall the Straw Hats. I think any of them can get past them, including when you've got the Giants with them and you got Sanji right behind them. I can't imagine how those Vice Admirals could hold on. I think Bonnie, because we've seen showings where Bonnie was strong enough to take them on, it's just that it was her dad that was in front of her, so I don't see this being a problem. What I do think will happen is I think they'll be taking those guys out, and this comes where Venus Juro just comes circling around, blitzing all the pacifista, and then he is now the threat stopping them from getting on the boat. And that becomes a real problem, because even now, if Straw gets there, they have a threat there, and then you've got to get the Giant ship and the Straw Hat ship off to sea while you got a Gorosei standing there. So that I think that's where that's going to go. And I don't think we're going to see any fighting there. I just think maybe he gets there and then everyone's like, oh, we were worried about Vice Admirals. We got a Gorosei now. And then I think Sanji will see that, and then I think this is where the fighting might start. We may see, Venus Juro start taking giants out, or putting Bonnie to the ground because she's the main threat with the ability to control the pacifista. And maybe before it decides to blow, Sanji shows up because Sanji's just a clutch Straw Hat and just blocks or deflects the attack. I could see that. And then I think that's about all we'd get there. I can't imagine us getting a full fight in a chapter. So maybe Straw Hat and Dory and Broggy making their way through, and then maybe they'll see that fight happening, and then, oh, we got to help them. And then that's where you see Jupiter come out as a sandworm and intercepts them. And then the other two Gorosei would be on both sides. And then you got a real threat with them being surrounded. You got Venus Juro at the boat blocking anyone from getting off the island. We have Jinbei, Zoro, Usopp and Nami's group, which I think has Robin in it, trying to get down with their ship. And then I think that's about where we would cut off. Everyone's kind of surrounded. Again, I think there's going to be a build-up chapter, and I don't think there's going to be a break next week. So I think it's going to be a build-up chapter. We're going to have lots to talk about because we're going to start seeing some matchups happen. And then we'll have a 4-minute countdown, or maybe it'll jump further ahead because we've had that whole conversation of fight, and then them separating somebody drop to 3 or 2 minutes as we get closer to this boat. I think 4. I think we probably got 2 or 3 chapters left before we get there. I think they'll probably start going by 2 or 1 minute at a time to elongate the chapters. And then, I think the next chapter will be more or less the climax before they can finally get off the island. People I didn't mention, and I don't think there's going to be in this chapter, I don't think Lucci or Kaku is going to make the chapter. I think they're going to leave off with Lucci, being down there hurting and just recovering because Zones recover really quickly. I think Kaku is still going to be in there recovering. I don't think he's going to have any part to play. Kizaru, I think he's still in the boat. You could really see a point where, because his wounds run deep, I think he's out of commission the rest of the arc. The only way I see him coming back, because I can't imagine him coming back for another L, because if he comes back, he can't win or it stops the Straw Hats, and the story's got to progress, is if he's turning sides. But for him to turn sides after there were many other opportunities where he could have turned sides and made a bigger impact, unless he's doing a sacrificial piece to get the Straw Hats, and maybe we find out Vegamonk's still alive, just can be put in a different body or something, or he can say that the liable fate, and maybe he knows about it. I don't know. There's ways that it can be spun where Kizaru can be a sacrificial pawn and be that last defense to allow them to get off the island. I just can't see it after everything that's happened, but it is never out of the realm of possibilities. And then the Iron Giant. That's the last big one I didn't talk about because he's like, I'm sorry, Joy Boy. I think in Oda fashion, he dropped that. If anything, we'll see it walk. I don't see him being a major part. What I think the Iron Giant's part in this whole thing is going to be a lore dump. I think we're going to get one little flashback about something that might have happened. And I think it's a Titan, so he's massive. And he's walking, I believe he'll be walking towards Joy Boy. So I think he'll keep chasing Joy Boy. So we may get a glimpse of him walking. We may get another phrase that could help give us a few more hints. But outside that, I don't even think he's going to be in the chapter. I think what'll happen is he'll get there, and Dory and Broggy may recognize him because they know about it. May be a story from their logs, but it may just be him saying another phrase to Joy Boy or Luffy for that matter, and I think it'll be that final wall that the Gorosei will have to get past. But there'll be enough stalling time for all the Straw Hats and Giants to get out of there, and the Straw Hats can just Kuda burst out. And honestly, they could Kuda burst out from where they're at, because I think Sanji told them to go ahead and take off, and then they'll find their way, and then Sanji, Usopp, Bonnie, and Frankie can all hop on this Giants boat, and they can be taken with them. And I mean, that leaves Jinbei, Zoro, and Robin, when Robin's healthy, and Chopper. I forgot about Chopper. on that boat. So they've got some firepower on that boat too if they run into any trouble before Elbaf. So I mean, there's so many ways this can go. That's how I think it's gonna go, and I think it's gonna be a setup chapter. I think it's gonna be crazy because I think we're gonna see I think it's gonna give us a lot to talk about, and I'm excited for it. We got about a week, and I know spoilers are coming out. I'm gonna avoid them like the plague. I don't hate on people that look at spoilers because I mean when this chapter comes out, I'm looking every second seeing if it's come out on TCB. I get more. I used to try to do spoilers, and I get more out of it if I can just read the whole chapter because I get all those spoilers, but I get context with it, and it can all hit me at once. So I try to avoid them with all that I can, and that's that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed going over this. It was a lot of fun for me to do a little bit of research and kind of piece some things together and try to make a guess. This is the first time I've done a prediction video. So it'll be interesting now that I've got documented evidence. I can go back and see, as we progress, I can go back and see how accurate I am and just how much better Oda is than me. But that is how I see this story going. Before we sign off, I did put a link down below. It's got my Amazon and it's got eBay on it. Amazon being the sound and video equipment, eBay being that manga. The One Piece memorabilia. It's got manga, action figures, etc. And then, yeah, if you like the video, go ahead and press that like button. If you want to join our crew, feel free to subscribe. Go ahead and smash the subscribe button. It's going to give you all the content as we go deeper and deeper into the One Piece community. And then I am always open to comments. I take criticism, concerns. If you have content you want to see, or if there's something you're like, man, I would just love to hear more about this character. It could be anybody. I'm down to deep dive on some things. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Cheers.